What's happening, everybody? I want to give you a quick update, my day 3 update on the Pace Morby Elephant Challenge. I want to tell you kind of like what I learned, some of my takeaways. If you're somebody who wants to get in the real estate space, my hope is that just some of the information that I give you will provide some value and that it will help you as I continue to dive deeper and deeper and deeper into this in the investment space of real estate. I'm going to be sharing with you guys the things that I learned, the do's and the don'ts, if you will, the things that where I found some value and the things I didn't find value. But what I want to talk about today is the Elephant Challenge. I did the first 2 days, and then of course I did the third day, but I didn't make a video about it. I was supposed to make this video on Saturday, but I got kids and soccer, volleyball, and dad life stuff, so I'm a little bit late on this, but I want to give you an update what we actually did on day 3. So on day 2, we actually pulled foreclosure lists. We went in there and they showed us how to do that using Privy. We pulled these foreclosure lists, then we skip traced them, and on day 3, at the end of day 2, what we did was we actually made a script of how we're going to call these, or what we're going to say when we call these people who are in foreclosure, and kind of what the goal is going to be there. So on day 3, we took those lists, we dialed and basically just tried to get people on. One of the things that I learned that they teach in Sub 2 in the mentorship is that we always call these people at least twice, sometimes it's 3 times, and I think there was like some mixed feedback on whether or not that was like something a lot of people wanted to do. But what I'm doing is I'm just relying on the people who have come before me, and I'm just following their lead. I don't want to come into something like this, especially because I paid to be a part of it. I don't want to come in with my ideas. I want to come in and I just want to like learn. You tell me what to do. You set the course. I'm setting my pace, and I'm just going to follow you. You just tell me what to do. And so they made a script, and basically what they said at the opening of that script was, hey, my name is Johnny, and I work with people who are having problems with the bank, and your name came up on my list, and how I'm here to help you. And basically this is a really soft touch, and they talk about positioning you as somebody who can help somebody who is in foreclosure, and kind of having this third party, like it's you and I against the bank, and maybe disarming people a little bit. And they did talk a little bit about mindset there, because when you're calling somebody who's in foreclosure, it's so sensitive, right? So these people are usually not only behind on their mortgage, but they're probably behind on their cars and their credit cards and all these types of things. So you need to be really aware that some of these things are happening, and approach them carefully. Okay, so that was kind of what we did on day 3. There was 2 dialers who got on, dialed 3 times in a row. They did get one person on the phone, and one of the things that I would say that I found really interesting, and I'm just going to say this I'm going to try not to be rude or offend anybody. One of the things that I know just from being in the mortgage space and dialing so much in that space is that there are people who are doing this, who are getting on the phone with people, and they're not good on the phone, man. I'm telling you right now, like they're not like these super rock star people, but you know what they are doing, and this is where they get so much love from me, is they're picking up the phone and they're trying. And this is what I saw when I was doing a bunch of refis back in 2020 and 2021 and even 2022, is I would bring in a new agent on the mortgage side, and they would dial and dial and dial, and they would say, they would just not do well, but it's part of the process. I always tell everybody, my experience when I got into mortgage, when I first had to dial, was, I always would tell everybody, there's no way you can be worse than I. People would say, oh my gosh, you're so good on the phone. How did you do that? I'm like, dude, I didn't start like this. Okay, I got on the phone. I remember one time I was talking to somebody, they asked me a question, and I didn't even I literally sat quiet on the phone. I didn't even respond, and I was like, oh, what do I say? And then I just hung the phone up. I didn't even know what to say. So my point is that you got to go through those things sometimes. You got to have those experiences where you're talking to people and you mess things up as part of the process. And I saw that a little bit on day 3 from kind of these newer agents, these newer investors who are just trying. And that's the thing, man. That's where people win, because they give it a shot, and they're not afraid to fail, and they're not afraid to feel a little bit uncomfortable. And that's where I do think that the mentorship provides a ton of value, because you can get on the phone and if you can just have conversations, and that's all we're really trying to do, is just have conversations with people. What's going on? Tell me about your situation, and then provide some sort of solution. If you can just do that, then you can take that information and you can bring it to somebody in the mentorship, and they will structure the deal for you. They'll bring it to an underwriter, and they will the helpline of financing and all those types of things. So that's why I do find that there is a ton of value being in the mentorship. But if you're not somebody who can afford being in the mentorship, what you need to do is you find a substitute student who's in, like me, who is part of the mentorship. Bring the deals to us because we have access to all these resources. Okay, and this is one of the things that I learned, I think, about the community that maybe I didn't really realize, because I thought, well, you can just YouTube how to do these things. If you're trying to get into the investment space, if you're trying to be a real estate investor and you think you can learn everything off of YouTube, you can learn a lot off of YouTube, and you can get better at things on YouTube. And I'll give you an example. Like if you are doing agent outreach via Privy, like I've been just diving into how to analyze deals on Privy, and I'm watching all kinds of videos on that because I know there's deals on that. But if I find a deal on there and I have nowhere to bring it to, I don't have a mentor, I don't have somebody who can structure the deal for me, then I'm dead in the water. And this is really something I don't even know if I thought about, because when I joined the mentorship, I was joining just because I wanted to learn. I'm like, it's 10,000. When I joined, it was 10,000. Now it's 8,800. But when I joined, I'm like, I just want to learn. I just want to learn what's going on. And for me, that was just an investment into my space. But what I've noticed is that a lot of people who have written in the comments and they've written me, they're like, I don't have $8,800 to join the mentorship. And what I would say is watch the videos. Do the elephant challenge, because you can go in there and they're going to show you how to find deals. And even if the elephant challenge isn't going, you can always find a sub-2 student, somebody who's part of the mentorship, and bring a deal and say, hey, is this a deal? And then you just JV on that. You make money, they make money, everybody wins on that deal. And then you just get your feet wet. You know what I'm saying? So, that's kind of, day 3, what we did. We just dialed, I think it was about an hour and a half. Everybody was on the phone. They brought in some guys who were able to talk about sales and how to sell and what to say. For me, I immediately after day 3, I got in my car and I started driving for dollars. And the reason I was doing that, and I made a video on it, kind of my experience driving for dollars, is because I want to try different things and see how I can bring deals in. And there's a lot of people doing a lot of different things. And I want to know what works for me. I'm trying to find my space. And so I did that. I made another video on that. You can watch it. Talk about some of the things I learned as I was doing that as well, if that's something that you want to do. But I did have a bunch of conversations off of dialing those foreclosures, had a bunch of conversations off of doing the driving for dollars. And now all I'm doing is just kind of waiting for those to pop. Because in this business, and again, I'm speaking a little bit, just from what I know, okay? I do think that the sales cycle of actually closing a deal or bringing a deal in it's not immediate. Like, you're not going to immediately get on the phone with somebody on the first call and sell a deal. I think that there are some wholesalers who play in that space and they're able to do that. I'm not able to do that. The way I look at it is I just want to get some information, give some options back to the person and let that close in a way to where it's a win-win for everybody. And so this is kind of the position that I'm taking, and the way I'm approaching this is getting people on the phone, having conversations, and then trying to get them to the finish line. And so that's it. So that was day 3. And I hope this provided some value. If you have any questions about some of the things that I learned in that space, please put them in the comments. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you.